I got deported. Just over here minding your own business.
No, he's not. Where he is, he's not allowed to have an imagination anymore.
Yeah, right.
Don't worry about getting fucked in the ass by an El Salvadorian.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
El Salvadorian.
Getting someone else's name tattooed around his sphincter.
One
Right,
ring
but-
to rule them all.
I don't even know who owns me. I can't
One
see because they
ring
don't give
to-
us mirrors.
All right.
Oh. Y'all ready?
Yep, we're streaming.
Oh, Ted, you don't get an attitude with me.
Hey, goddamn, let's go.
In this episode of the Red Eye Report, we discuss being quiet. We find out just how sensitive Ashtray is about his bald head, and as usual, we fend for ourselves in this cold, cold world of podcasting. With me this week is the fluffy teddy bear. Teddy doesn't do Verbo. It's Airbnb or nothing at all, baby.
I love Verbo. I do them both.
Pretty much going for the nothing at all. No. Next to him is the all-seeing Oracle. He once had an exclusion zone around his garden, but the rabbits saw to that bullshit.
They're like the
also
goddamn
got a-
Russians.
Fucking Russian.
They're just like
So we-
birds. They're fake.
We've also got a soot-covered Ashtray. The only thing Ashtray has ever excluded from his life are Eskimos. For some reason, he has an unhealthy aversion to Eskimos. I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, you know.
Are
they're
you
really-
scared of them?
No, they just make my boner curl up and go inside.
Yeah. Well,
Too cold.
last and least,
Yeah.
I'm the Mystic. Fuck me, right? And this is the Red Eye Report.
Somebody's gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Tonight, I initially saw this video on this YouTube channel called Yes Theory.
Who's our pause for the cause pet?
I don't give a fuck about these stupid
Man,
animals.
you really have been hating on the Dane County Humane Society.
It's
Yeah.
his show. If you don't want to do it, you're not doing it.
All right.
Those
You know
poor
what?
pets.
Fine. I'm going to give a shout out to Grover.
Take a hint to, you know what?
Guinea
We're
pig.
going to shout out
Don't try to bogart this shit.
Fuck
You
you,
want to do it. We're doing a new show.
Society. We're going to give a shout out to my cat, Jack, who's staring at me right now. Hey, Jack.
How old's Jack now?
He just left.
He's like, I don't want
This
He doesn't
mortal
give a shit.
plane.
He doesn't give a fuck. All right. I initially saw this, what's called a radio quiet zone in this YouTube video called Yes Theory. So there's an actual area in the United States called the NRQZ. It's the National Radio Quiet Zone. But we're going to start out just with a broad overview. Like, we're not the only country that have these. Basically, it's an area that governments lay out where they usually have like gigantic radio telescopes or radio fucking transmitters and shit like that fucking they can, where's the ratio here? It's 1/10000000th of 1/1000000000th of 1 kilowatt. It can fucking capture that small of a fucking, basically it's like a snowflake hitting the ground. That's how sensitive these dishes are. These right? So like basically they block mobile phones, television transmitters, CB radios, electrical equipment. Like, we're talking even like microwaves and shit.
Really?
Yeah. So formal
This is
radio
interesting.
quiet zones exist around many observatories. So we got like the Murchison Radio Astronomy Observatory in Australia. We have one here that we're going to talk about in West Virginia called Sugar Grove Station and the National Radio Astronomy Observatory. And then there's a couple or one in Brazil and one in South Africa. So when I watched this video, like, they made it out like somehow the government blocks the signals, but they can't. Like, there's no radio towers, or not radio towers. There's no cell phone towers, and there aren't any like frequency transmitters built within this boundary. So like, there's no tight TV stations. If it's like a radio station, it has to be super low band. Like, it can't be powerful at all. So like ham radios are really perfect for this area. So our NRQZ is in Green Bank, West Virginia. So there's two different ones. Green Bank is
Green Bank, right? Okay. I'm
yeah,
just looking at
Green
this picture here. Fuck, I can't believe it's
is-
that close to DC.
Yeah, well, because we're gonna get to the why it's that close to it. So it was opened in 58, I think it was. And basically they're measuring, like I said, they're measuring these impulses coming out of space to try to figure out how space and dark matter fucking exists or how it interacts with certain things. I don't know. They're scientists. I don't really understand any of that.
Science shit.
Just let them do
But,
this
like-
nerd shit.
Right.
I don't know. It's my topic, but
Within like 2 miles of this satellite dish or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, satellite dish. Within 2 miles of it, you can't even operate gas powered cars. It has to be diesel. Because the spark of the spark plug, is enough to set off this dish. Like microwaves don't work.
hope you don't have to call 911 when you're out there. Shit.
I'll talk this article. It'll get more in depth about it. But so that's it's the largest moving radio telescope basically on Earth in West Virginia. Like they can actually move it. It can follow certain parts of the sky for periods at a time to try to get data, whatever the fuck they're doing. Like I said, they're scientists.
So I'm assuming
But
there's
it's-
other radio telescopes, but this one can measure the more sensitive shit because they keep all the other interference away.
Yes, there are many radio telescopes around the fucking world, but this one is specifically designed to measure certain impulses from the sky, and those they can't have interference. Otherwise, the data is just fucked. You know what I mean? So that's why they built this exclusion zone. So, so the policies of the observatory are no electromagnetic radiation, or like anything like a microwave oven is off limits. Wi-Fi access points. The people in this town, there's a town that has about 8,000 people in it. Most of the people that live there are scientists that work at this fucking satellite place, and they have internet, but it's all hardwired into their computers. They don't have Wi-Fi. They don't have cell phones.
Yeah, I say everything's landline.
Yeah, they have landlines and ham radios that they can talk to one another with. And even like radio, like there's no radio signals. Like you can't just turn on the fucking radio in this place. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing there. Like
How am I gonna listen to my Rush Limbaugh?
TV, it has to be cable. There's no over the air television that come through there either. But like I said, that video I watched made it out like somehow the government fucking did this shit. You know what I mean? But for my reading here, basically it's just they fucking have these policies in place, and I'm using that in quotation, because they can't really do anything about it. Like the FCC can give you like violations. Basically, if they find out you have a piece of equipment that's interfering because they could detect the interference, they can pinpoint it and come to your house and be like, hey, can you fucking shut this off? And they said in this article, most of the time they do shut it off. But they've had instances where the FCC literally has to start fining people money until they stop using this equipment that interferes with their shit. So I was like, why? They have to have technology to just block these fucking signals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if they do that, aren't they also putting signal into the...
I was gonna say,
You
like, I don't
know.
think you can really block a radio signal just because, I mean, even before radio was invented or we even understood the electromagnetic spectrum, radio waves have been coming from space forever.
Right. So, well, this quote from this is kind of funny because this quote from this woman, she said this Green Bank resident and high school teacher had a microwave. She had a smartphone. She had Wi-Fi.
What?
She knew where to get cell phone signal. It's not like we're living some bohemian lifestyle, she told me. Such was hardly a secret. A house across the street from the observatory had Wi-Fi with the network name "Screw You NR."
Ah!
Yeah, an unsubtle middle finger to the observatory's calls for quiet. Green Bank's
Wow.
health clinic has Wi-Fi. So did the senior center. He's like,
Oh
we're not
my
supposed to.
God.
The county's director of senior programs and former county commissioner. But I think all that stuff about the noise levels is fabricated. Like they don't believe that, like
Well,
that's why I need it. And
or
I'll
they
get to
haven't been
in a second.
fined.
Right. And that's the thing. Like this I feel like there's something nefarious going on.
Right.
Here. Like
Are they even running this fucking thing or what's going on?
Well,
across this zone, there's another one that is the U.S. Navy's Information Operation Command at Sugar Grove. So the NIOC is the location of the electronic intelligence gathering system for the entire Navy.
Green Bank and Sugar
Echelon
Grove.
system for the NSA. So this other fucking satellite, I don't know if they're like working together, and maybe this one is just like one where they're like, yeah, don't pay attention to this one over here. You know, let's talk about this fucking Green Bank one that like.
Yeah, right. This one the nerds are using.
Yeah, exactly. So like
the NSA can actually like do their thing.
Yeah. So in this quiet zone, though, there are exemptions. There's emergency services obviously can use their radios when they need to. CB radios are permitted for them. But anything high-powered transmissions are banned.
Do you have any pictures of this big satellite dish? It better be impressive looking.
So which one are we talking about? Yeah, Green Bank. That's the one.
Yeah.
That doesn't look that impressive. Of course, it was made in the 50s.
That's the thing. Like, it's 140 feet across. It's not like it's tiny. And like I said, it's the world's largest movable radio telescope.
Hey, it looks impressive enough.
Okay, that picture is more impressive. That one was probably from a ways back.
That if you open up that BBC article, it's the last one. The guy is standing inside the thing. It looks like. So you could tell just how big it really is.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, it says right here, it's 2.3 acres in surface area, and it's taller than the Statue of Liberty.
All right.
So we're looking at
not as big as the Eiffel Tower.
Oh yeah. No. So, here it is. Yes, the telescope has the sensitivity equivalent to a billionth of a millionth of a watt. So it's the energy given off by a single snowflake hitting the ground, which sounds like bullshit.
Yeah, right. When it snows, they can't hear shit.
Right. But does it snow in West Virginia?
Well, the thing is too with the radio telescopes, like, and also probably why these neighbors have been like quietly like, fuck you, I'm gonna set up a Wi-Fi until someone comes in. Like,
well, I'm gonna read this BBC article was the best one because they're talking about.
Yeah, you got all these pictures of these locals.
These local hillbillies, like,
yeah,
fuck,
right?
I want me some Wi-Fi.
It's like Bobby owns Trent's convenience stores.
So,
we
like
do work by candlelight.
One I can think of that could cause a lot of problems is a vacuum cleaner. The type of motor they use generates a lot of sparks. Anyone caught hoovering with a faulty machine will be politely asked to desist. We have no enforcement powers. That's done by the federal agency known as the Federal Communications Commission. All we can do is ask them to turn off the offending device, and 99% of the time they do, he says. In one case, observatory staff bought a farmer a new heater for his dog pound when it transpired the old one was leaking unwelcome radio waves. No petrol engines are allowed within a mile of the satellite because they use spark plugs. No electronics can be used at a nearby airstrip. So basically, it says we just have a windsock and a tetrahedron so that they know which way the wind is blowing. That seems real safe. Let's fly out of this fucking airport and not have any radar.
Right? Well, it's like they can't bring the smartphone out to look at the fucking, what's the weather forecast like? Well, I gotta stick my head out the window.
Yeah, fuck, it's gonna rain. Dude, this would be weird as shit.
Well, and I'm sure anyone who
Cell phones
didn't like that lifestyle, or like who lives close by there, that's what I say. Like, at least, well, you said there was that many scientists. It sounded like one of those, kind of like, what do they call it, company towns or whatever, or like McMurdo in Antarctica. It's like, yeah, it's busy. It's 1,500 people, but it's like, yeah, you're all working for Raytheon.
Right, exactly, yeah. So the last type of people that actually hear, and they estimate there's about 100 of them in this town, are people who are electrosensitive refugees.
No shit.
Because I know you've seen, well, I know Teddy has seen Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
His brother in that has that fucking electromagnetic fucking sensitivity, which honestly I was reading up on that, and it seems more like it's psychological than anything. But
yeah, I was gonna say, like, what are the symptoms, or is it all in their head?
Yeah, so this one woman says she used to live on a farm in Iowa, but after a mobile phone mast was built nearby, she became ill. She said she got hair loss. I thought I was getting older. I had a rash. I thought that was something I ate. My vision changed. I thought maybe it's just getting older. But then she moved to this place, and she hasn't had it since. So I don't. I mean, maybe.
How would you actually diagnose that? That'd be the thing, because it seemed like one of those things you couldn't easily test for.
That's what I was reading, is that the government or the medical community doesn't know what to do. It's like having fibromyalgia. They just name it this blanket thing because they don't know.
Yeah, right.
What is causing?
You should have been born 100 years ago. Sorry.
Right. So, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's cool that there's a place like this that exists.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some shit going on here.
Yeah. So what's the deal with the other one? Did they talk about the other one, like the NSA one?
No, because
no one releases information about it.
Yeah, I'm assuming that one is kind of off limits. It's on a name.
Yeah, they don't have any pictures on Wikipedia. They just have a artist conception of the planned radio telescope in 1959.
Yeah.
Let alone, like, I bet
it's built 60 fucking years ago. There's got to be some shit out there.
You know what it probably is that radio telescope, built 60 years ago. That they got the use out of it they could, until, like, you can't stop modernization from impeding, but yet they, like, had these kind of loose or these, like, rules that the government is abiding by. Damn well they built a more upgraded radio telescope in the middle of fucking, like, Utah, or somewhere really remote, because this is so close to Virginia and DC, that I bet you then it's just like the NSA is like, oh, we'll build our spot right next to it. We'll keep funding this 50-year-old telescope that can't do shit now. And we'll then, like, only the old-timey fucking people who don't need a smartphone will still stick around. And then we can do what we want with our shit.
Yeah, there's all kinds of crazy conspiracies. I was reading about this fucking, that they're, like, hiding missile silos in this fucking area and shit.
Well, yeah, and I think Oracle, like Oracle was saying, like, you can't block radio transmissions. Like, if something's transmitting a radio signal, it's going to transmit unless you actually stop the transmission source.
Right.
But you can you can block radio transmissions and do interference, but that is interfering with the receiving end.
Yeah, that'll interfere with the telescope.
And I'm sure they're using these old government rules and exclusion zone as a way of, like, we can keep out anyone who's going to either maybe not necessarily jam transmission as much as like someone who's gonna have another like a spy way of trying to receive, because they could have some sort of satellite that's geostationary above that location that the NSA is communicating with, and then they use those laws to help keep at bay anyone who might want to eavesdrop.
Listening to it, yeah. Well, and it could be too that those, like you said, those laws back in 1958 or whenever it was built, like there wasn't fucking cell phones and shit. What's the most they had to worry about?
Well, TV antenna, like
Yeah, but those are easy. Just don't build the antenna in the proximity of. You know what I'm saying? Like that's cell phone wasn't a thing. Like microwaves weren't a fucking thing. Like
microwaves were a thing back then, weren't they? Didn't microwaves start in like the 60s?
Well, don't stand next to one if you're fucking using it. It's a 1960s fucking microwave.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they.
You know what? For as much as everybody's bitching about, like, oh, cell phones cause cancer, blah blah blah. It's like, where was the microwave ovens cause cancer campaign? I'm sure there were some.
I mean, there had to be some kind of thing about the radiation causing cancer. Somebody had to say something about it.
I'm sure someone, did not trust microwaves when they first came out because they seem like magic.
First microwave for residential use comes to market in 1967. So when that thing was built, microwaves weren't a thing.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Boom, bitch.
Damn, Ashtray got his ass handed to him.
So anyway, here's my final question. That's really all I got. I want to know what's going on.
Man, I want to know more.
No, you don't.
Yeah. You know, Ashtray would have turned this into a 45-minute episode.
To let you know more. You ready? You're already on their list. Why you keep fucking with them?
I'm fucking with them. I'm just reading up on them.
Would you guys live in an area like live in a place like this?
No.
Well, I couldn't now. Although, like, I could see old timers, or if you just kind of like live in an area of limited. I mean, it's like I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, oh yeah, and also besides the scientists, like 80% of the population is Amish. You know?
Yeah, I would think they'd put it more. It would be more for an Amish community, so they wouldn't miss the technological.
Yeah, or like people who aren't all gonna bitch about. Because this thing too is like, because you talked about this article saying there were like neighbors who had Wi-Fi and like the Wi-Fi name was like "fuck you" or what was it? Was it "fuck you"? Point being is that they're saying like you can't have any of this, these ways of transmitting radio signals. But I bet you too, if that radio telescope is still working, like they're narrowing in on a very precise frequency of radio waves that they're looking for. So things making outside of that range,
right?
Probably not gonna, like, they're not gonna interrupt it. And also like Wi-Fi, cell phones, even the old school TV antennas and stuff, those are actually very defined spectrums. But I could see how the spark plugs, because it's I bet you that actually like sends radio waves across multiple frequencies, like it's like a bunch of fucking staticky noise and stuff like that is actually more interfering than Wi-Fi or cell phones would.
Right, because those are limited to a band.
Yeah, the FCC and stuff like says you can only transmit, and also to actually make the technology work, it does have to stay in that narrow range for the receiver. And whereas like a spark plug is just like just sending a broad range of radio frequency noise, and that is more, it probably for them it's like it causes static, because like even though they're looking in a little narrow window, fucking spark plugs are scattering it over a broad range and it interferes with them. Whereas the neighbor with the Wi-Fi who thinks he's a rebel, it's like unless they're actually looking closer to that range, it's actually negligible, or doesn't do anything.
Right. And it might be just some of it is, I mean, because they can detect where it's coming from, and it might be that it's just not worth it.
Well,
They just exclude those ranges. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, like they're not looking in that
Yeah.
area. But yeah, you're right. Like it's just like the fucking drone controversy story where it's like, yeah, if these were all hobbyist drones, these motherfuckers, like the government has the technology to find where that transmitter is
yeah,
and hunt them
Yeah,
down.
if they
just
can
like they
find
did
out where somebody's spark plugs are, like Farmer John's fucking radio heater or whatever, like, and they couldn't find those drones.
Oh yeah,
Come
because
on.
there actually were a number of stories where they did arrest people because also everyone was curious and they were sending their own drones up, and because the government really doesn't know what the fuck was going on there,
Yeah, they clearly did
were
not.
catching the people who were putting their own drones up, and then they had to like use the cover story of like, oh, it was hobbyist drones.
people were doing that when those fires were going on in LA too. They were like just sending up their own drones and
Oh
shit.
yeah, they
one of
fucking
those
crashed into like one of those big
one of those fire
planes.
planes. hit it right in the fucking wing.
Oh, that's fucking
Can
great.
you imagine, like, it's
People
your
are
like
so dumb, dude.
$10,000 drone, because like, oh, I do wedding shoots, in Hollywood or whatever. It's like you got a really nice one.
I just imagine their face. Sorry, that's funny to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, that's it. Fuck the National Radio Quiet Zone. Fuck Ashtray. What's up?
Somebody's got to.
We're moving on to the what's sexy. This is where we tell you what's sexy and you fucking listen. Teddy, going back to the dick, the D.
Fuck you. Going back to Detroit for the first time in 12 years. Got a big family reunion. I'm excited. Taking my family. Get to show my son, where I grew up and shit. Daddy's old stomping grounds. I'm excited, I'm just excited about going back.
Nice.
That's it. Not excited about the drive though.
Yeah, it's got to be a bitch. What is that? 8-9 hours?
Yeah, 8.5 hours. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Word.
But I'm a man. I got to do it.
Buddy. Oracle plumbing tune-up. Would you get a catheter installed or something?
So the wife goes
Colonic.
to me the other day. She's like, "Oh, our local heating and cooling company, they've got a plumber that's going around and doing complimentary plumbing assessments on houses."
Boy, that sounds like a trap.
Yeah, so I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm like,
don't say you signed us up.
Right, and of course she signed us up. So I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like what? So I was a little pissed off. I'm like, oh God. And then she's like trying to clean shit up, and it's like, fucking A. Like, we did not need this in our lives.
Now you got to make your place look presentable for the plumber.
Yeah, for the plumber. So the guy shows up, he's this old guy. He's going around.
I'll find a problem. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah, going around. I'm sitting there fucking eating my lunch. I got my computer in front of me, just kind of doing some work, and comes in. He's like, I got to go back to the shop. I got to get a part. Your water heater's leaking. And I'm like, thinking to myself, I was like, well, the fucking water heater wasn't leaking before you got here.
Yeah, wait. like, I don't know how much you passed your water heater, but like you notice if there's some water on the floor.
Yeah, no, we definitely know. But he was gonna see if he could what do they call that? Get the silt out or flush the water heater. And it started leaking or whatever. It's an older one. It's past its life. But
I bet you that's how he gets most people. Let me flush the silt out, because most people have like, fuck. Well, I guess we haven't done that in a while.
Right.
And then, well, now I can't actually seal it up right because it's been fucking left unattended for so long.
He went through. He checked all the shit. He even did like the outside spigots and He did come back. He's like, oh, you got some valves under, one of the bathroom sinks that could change out. I can do that for you, or don't have to do it. And so I was like, okay, well, we're not going to do it. We'll probably get that water heater changed out. And it actually wasn't bad. It was nice that he went through. It wasn't that much of a trap.
He
It
wasn't
was
too
a
high
little,
pressure.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a trap, but not that much of a trap. So turned out being a good thing, and not.
I guess like if they're not too high pressure.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, although like I could see if you knew the water heater thing was coming.
Yeah.
But
long run for them though too. I mean,
oh yeah,
if they're not
it's a good move.
pressure, and you'll be like,
That's
you know what, those
true.
guys are cool. If I need help, I'm gonna call them.
Right.
6
That's
months.
true. If you haven't used the local plumber,
Well,
they came
Right.
out,
yeah.
and did an assessment, and weren't too high pressure, they'll be the first ones you think of.
And they're actually a heating and cooling company that we've had them do like a heat pump for us last year. And actually they started their business out of our house. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, our garage is like
that's that same company you were telling me about them.
That's the same company. So we got a relationship there. I would not have done this with anybody else. Like if she would have signed us up with some other fucking fly by night.
Yeah, right.
Company,
like Felco Windows or something.
Right? What the fuck? Plus, I don't know. I mean, you don't know who the fuck these people are coming in. Like, if they're not a reputable business either.
Now, did he inspect the crazy plumbing irrigation?
Out in the garage?
Yeah, for your former.
No, I didn't have him.
Yeah,
if he would have looked at that, yeah, he would have had plenty of fucking work that he could have found. No, I will work on that Willy Wonka project sometime in the future. But, yeah.
Word. All right. I'm gonna go because Ashtray doesn't have anything in here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything sexy this week.
Oh, all right. The Bondsman is a show on Amazon starring Kevin Bacon. It is it's weird. It's a cool show. It's so basically he's a bail bondsman. He's a bounty hunter who dies and gets sent back from hell to collect demons that escape. So basically think of hell as like a big prison. Sometimes the demons escape and want to come back to Earth and have some fun. This guy sends them back. So it's like it's got a weird quirky vibe. It's like if Supernatural meets fucking Ash versus Evil Dead. But Ash versus Evil, it's not as fucking over the top and Sam Raimi-ish as Ash versus Evil Dead, obviously, or Evil Dead at all. But it's got some of it has that vibe, that comedic like horror vibe. So it's only 8 half-an-hour episodes. It's pretty good. They got it pretty good. I thought.
That's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Word. Check it out or don't. I don't really care.
All right. I figured one out.
Festival 2 is canceled.
Yes, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. What's funny is Fire Festival 2. Of course, when you watch those documentaries.
Wasn't the first one a scam?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
no, actually, it wasn't. I mean,
it wasn't?
No, it wasn't a scam in the sense.
It
like,
just
you could,
sucks so
you could
bad
actually,
they thought it was
you
a
could
scam.
you could call Fire Festival 2 a scam in the sense that, like, some people were dumb enough to already buy tickets. I don't know if they've been refunded yet. I mean, Fire Festival 1, you wouldn't necessarily say it was a scam. It was just a shit show because people like they did try to put this on, but it was put on by this doofus who never threw a proper festival, and Ja Rule thought he was a part of it too. But this guy,
serious money.
What the fuck was his name now here? It was Mike something. But he just like a big fucking talker who got a bunch of investors, but then didn't really like get. Or no, I'm not. Michael is Billy McFarland. What a name.
Well,
other McFarlands are like motherfucker. But yeah, so like the first one was like touted to be on this island that was it Pablo Escobar used to use as like a middle, like a refueling zone for running cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Make it like Ibiza, basically.
Yeah, and the thing is, he did a very good job of fake it till you make it. Hired like a bunch of supermodels, like Emily Ratajkowski was one of them, you know, and of course, like these models are just like, all right, sure, you know, like they show up for the job and like look pretty on this yacht in this beautiful beach, and they did. But of course, then like once the like whoever had, you know, the authority over that island, once they found out like, oh, this motherfucker's promoting this on Instagram for a festival, like blocked that. And so they then moved it to some other location that they then just did a great job of like overhyping what it was going to be, and then everybody showed up and it wasn't even ready. And then like by that time too, enough of like the people involved, like the gigs who were all supposed to play, canceled or pulled out right before the event. But the people who spent $5,000, $10,000, depending on these, I don't know if you've ever been to a festival. Oracle and I've been to Electric Forest, so like you know, there's like different tiers of how much you want to pay to have levels of exclusivity and amenities, and that these festival kids, like that's what they do, right? They hop around all these festivals, and who knows whether they're on a trust fund or what, but they can actually throw $10,000 at this experience that is like a whole brand new festival nobody's ever been to. And yeah, a lot of these people basically got fucked in the sense it wasn't really a scam, it was just a shit show. They showed up and then like couldn't even get out for a while, and were fed like
Yeah,
like
I remember.
fucking American cheese sandwiches and like some cucumbers. I don't even remember that photo. Where it was just like,
Yeah.
and the poor like woman, she was a local who like, I think she was like a restaurateur or whatever, but like she signed on as a contractor, and then like couldn't even get the thing she needed to try to provide food for these people,
man.
and doing the best she could. But yeah, no, it's I just think it's sexy in the sense that Fire Festival 2 like stopped before it even started.
What happened with 2? I remember he was trying to set it up in some place where, and then like the mayor of that place was like, no, there's no permits for this shit. From what I hear reading.
Well, I think it's like what they're saying now is like the event's been postponed and a new date will be announced. We have issued you a refund. The thing is like, I have not seen, at least in this article, like what they say the you know, reason is. But yeah, it's just like this guy is he is a Trump without like being able to, you know,
absolutely
fucking pull it off enough.
Not a Trump, he's a fucking, what's that, Martin Shkreli fucking dude, or like.
That's true. Or yeah, Sam Bankman-Fried. Shit, Sam Bankman-Fried even made more money than Bill McFarlane, I bet.
That bio fucking business. Who's in prison?
Amelia Holmes, I think, or Emily Holmes.
Emily Holmes,
I think. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, so Fire Festival. Although it's like, man, it would have made a great sequel documentary to see the like second one be a whole shit show again. But also, it's like,
if the second one had come out and it was just incredibly good,
it would have been impressive. But also, it's like the thing is too, it's like it, one of those where it's like, I'm sure anyone with real, like they were even saying in the documentary, like they just didn't hire people who have experience. Because logistically, I'm sure it's a fucking nightmare trying to pull off
island
a festival.
You gotta ship everything into that island.
Right.
Oh yeah. Well, in the first one too, like ended up the second location that where everybody actually did show up was not technically an island. It was just this weird kind of abandoned, like beach, like side area that they, like no one was using, and they thought, well, sure, we'll rent this out and throw some of these cool, techno looking dome tents, and they got about half of those set up.
Make this shit Coachella.
Fire Festival 2, I think base tickets were $1,400.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. And they had probably 10, 15 grand. I mean, I know leading up before this, before it came out that it was postponed, like a week or two ago, there was they were interviewing some fucking dorks who were, 22 or whatever. Like, yeah, well, we heard about, we saw the documentary about the first one, but we're really hoping like this time he learned his lesson, and it's like, dude, your parents buy you these tickets.
Right? Like, what the fuck,
You
man?
didn't buy these tickets. You were two rich motherfucking Ivy League kids.
Oh my god. Fuck this.
So yeah. Sorry, Billy.
Well, fuck the Fire Festival. Now we're moving on to the actual fuck what you think. I'm just gonna start it off with Trump. He's literally destroying our country. Did you see today he was super mad because he couldn't fire Powell, the Fed chair?
Mm.
Oh, I did. Well, I saw he at least saying like he can't be fired quick enough or something like that, or
It's like he's like, if I want him gone, he'll be gone right away. Don't worry. Yeah, okay, buddy. You keep telling yourself that.
yeah, that'll really calm the markets down.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying, dude. He's just a fucking child. And it's in a certain way, it's fantastic watching it. But at the same time, I'm gonna lose all my fucking money like everyone else. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. It's just
Yeah,
like,
my wife
oh wait,
won't-
I live here.
Okay, they're
Oh.
fucked. Like, anyway, fuck that comb over, bitch. Ashtray. Well, you know what? Ashtray just talked for like 10 minutes. Oracle, nerd
Yeah.
beef.
Yeah. So went to this webinar tonight for the Wisconsin Mycological Society.
Wait, ecological?
Yeah.
That was a webinar where everybody logs in through Skype.
Yeah, like a Zoom thing.
Okay.
And
What's mycological?
so mushroom stuff.
Mushrooms, fungi.
Yep.
Oh,
And so they were talking about, all this like identification stuff out in the wild and whatnot. And they had a speaker that was going to be on, but before the speaker, and this is the first time that my wife and I had gone on one of these things, they were just kind of like, oh, here you can use this resource in order for identification and stuff, and you can, these pictures and whatnot.
What was it, like a PDF or something?
Going through like a website and kind of showing off like the website, and it descended into this fucking nerd beef between these fucking nerds, and like the person that's running the thing is just like starts flailing and starts like clicking on all these fucking links and scrolling around, and this other guy's like, no, you gotta click on that, no, you spelled it wrong, you gotta put it on this thing. It is just like, Jesus fucking Christ.
So like one listener was interacting with the nerd who's running the show,
Yes.
and then was like getting in his face about not doing it right.
And it was ridiculous. And it went on for like fucking 15 minutes. And my Carolyn, she's just like, okay, we're going to give them like 2 more minutes and then we're going to fucking bail. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. And then right at when I was going to find, something else, the actual guy that was supposed to speak, who does he's got like a farm where he does morel mushroom cultivation. Also does like lion's mane and oyster mushrooms and things like that. But it was super interesting, and his talk was super interesting what he was talking about. But the thing prior to that is like, for fuck's sake. And then like It was just because you see like somebody's running it and then they start to spiral, you know, they're like, oh shit, I'm losing control. I'm
Like they're
losing
losing control of it.
right? And then you just seeing them flail, and then you've got like the fucking like power nerd, like, no, you got to do it this way. It's like
Telling him
fuck.
how to do his job.
Exactly. Just shut the fuck up.
It's like someone come up and telling me I'm not DJing right. It's like, get
There's
the
no-
fuck out of here.
There's a show on Amazon called Clarkson's Farm. It's Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear. He like bought a farm years ago, and now he's trying to run it himself, which is funny. But in order to make ends meet or make more money, he actually grew mushrooms in this fucking old like bunker, like World War II bunker.
Nice.
That shit is super fucking interesting, dude, because I didn't know they grew that fast. Like he fucking put him in there and came back like literally like 2 days later. And these motherfuckers were overflowing with fucking, but he had a bunch of different kinds of mushrooms down there. I was like, holy shit, dude. He's just had mushrooms coming out of his ass. He's trying to sell them all over the place. Fucking fun.
All right.
Fucking fun guy. All right.
Fucking fun guy.
All right, Ashtray. Space slut.
Space
Somebody-
sluts. Space
Just
sluts.
just get me.
What? I
What's
can
that?
hear you now. What happened?
I said, just get me.
Well, I asked you if you had anything. You didn't answer, so I moved on to
Oh,
Ashtray.
I didn't hear you say that shit. Yeah, I got something.
Oh,
All right,
man,
go ahead.
see?
Switch.
Nerds taking over.
The fucking Switch, man, being delayed because of the goddamn tariffs.
Goddamn tariff war.
Goddamn turfs.
Oh, man.
Goddamn tariffs.
That'll lose in voters. Get those fucking gamers.
The thing is, the console is going to be cheaper over in Europe and Japan, so I'm thinking it's just importing it from there. But yeah, we don't know when we're going to be able to pre-order. We don't know how much it's going to be now.
Right? Or how much it's going to
thanks,
cost to
so-
import.
Yeah. So thanks, Obama. Fuck.
Fucking
that's it.
Obama called up
Bye.
Nintendo. He's like, I'm gonna need you to delay that, make it more
Yeah.
expensive.
Listen, we really want to take Trump down. We got to start hitting him where it hurts with his video game fans.
In the Mario Kart, that's where it hurts.
Did you guys ever see? Did you guys watch that fucking Chinese businessman thing I sent you? Where he's talking about the tariffs?
I
The
don't
reporter's
think
like,
so.
well, aren't you guys worried? I mean, U.S. economy is like 15% of your GDP, and he's like, nah. He's like, we've been around for 5,000 years. We're gonna be here for another 5. It's like 4,800 or 40-some hundred of those, the U.S. wasn't a thing.
Did you hear that? I think it just
Like, wow.
today or yesterday. I was like, JD Vance said something to the effect. It was like, oh well, it's like we have, we're outsourcing Chinese peasants to make, stuff for us to buy from, and like China has it's like where they normally block Western news on like their Twitter, Waymo, is that what it's called?
I think so, yeah.
They've instead they're like, fucking turn the algorithm up on this one. They're like sharing it with with everyone to basically be like so all the Chinese people realize, are hearing that JD Vance is just saying that like the Chinese economy is like we're just paying peasants.
Well, the thing is their economy is way more structured for something like this because they have the manufacturing infrastructure to be self-sufficient.
Yes,
make more money out to everybody. We don't, and they're not going to invest in it. It's just that simple. It's not coming back, guys.
Yeah, right. These reporters were like, how much would it cost to make the Nintendo Switch here in the United States? And they're like, tenfold.
Yeah, the dude's like, it would cost billions just to set up the factories to do it and shit.
Yeah, it's like you
I don't
dumbasses.
understand how all the infrastructure has been set up for the last 25 fucking years through all these things. Not just the Switch, but the fucking
Yeah,
you know
all the
computers and
smartphones.
shit. Like yeah, smartphones.
And then the Trump had his little pivot where he's like, "Whoa, we'll pause the tariffs on electronic goods."
Yeah,
You know, it's just like
yeah, that was just to make money. It's fucking.
it's
He used our economy for the world.
It is
pumping
well,
back.
and it's also like
Mhm.
his little give and takes are just they're yo-yoing the market,
Yep.
To make
and those motherfuckers
flipping
are
it.
just like, you know what? This stock is down. Like Nvidia's really down right now. Like, all right, let's buy it this cheap because we know Trump's gonna make this announcement right, in 30 minutes.
well, the thing is they don't even have to buy it cheap because it
Well,
went
cheaper
down.
than it would have been. I'm saying.
But
when you're buying stock.
what happens is it went down so much they just don't have to pull out. They just have more stock. So now they have more stock in this company that then shoots back up. So they're making fucking tenfold of what they
Well,
had.
I believe it still depends on what you bought in on that stock at the rate wise. But it's like the thing is, you make it go down lower than what you initially bought in on, and then you can buy more of the stock because a news story is gonna make it pop.
Yeah, just one person. Like whatever he said, that's the thing, man. There's way too much power on the fucking US president
Yep.
causing markets. It's insane how much this psycho can
Yeah, I think
affect
they
things.
need to. I mean, I don't care who the fuck the president is. The president should not have the power that the president
Absolutely.
has. Like we are clearly seeing that.
Yep.
But
Just
I
took
don't know.
a psychopath to fucking
Right.
use it in the wrong way for us to be like, whoa, we didn't think about this.
Or just let us. I mean, just essentially someone who, let's just say, like he's the first postmodern president where like he actually does not have
Yeah.
any qualms
Give him-
or reverence for like what it's supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
have the presidency.
All right. Anyway, Ashtray, space sluts.
Space sluts. Yeah, roll that beautiful bean footage. Fucking
Sluts.
Katy Perry and Gayle King and of course fucking Bezos supermodel girlfriend, and then I think 2 or 3 other women that no one cares about.
Isn't she some conservative commentator, bitch?
Who? Gayle King?
Lauren Sanchez or whatever the fuck her name is?
Oh, maybe. Or wait, you're talking about is Lauren Sanchez
Bezos yeah.
Maybe she was. I thought she was some sort of model or something, but
There was a model, but it wasn't her. Lauren Sanchez is a fucking. She looks like.
well, maybe
look
was the
at that.
model the one he left his wife for? I guess I thought he was still together with her, but who knows? I haven't been following up on the Bezos gossip, but also this is
I love the guy, so.
it is that YouTube video should have fucking footage of the
What YouTube video? Oh, I see.
yeah, they're in the outline.
the YouTube
You
link.
slut. But yeah, the Atlantic article though was kind of great because it was like it's the perfect celebrity for a stupid stunt, and about how like because Katy Perry has like kind of dropped the ball on her, like she tried to have a comeback with her recent album, and I don't know if you guys, I think it was a while ago, that Woman's World music video,
Yeah,
which is
this is-
so,
Oh yeah, that was dumb as fuck.
it was so dumb as fuck. And yet though, it's like maybe like 15 years ago, it would have seemed like, oh, this is a fun satirical thing, but it's just like so behind the curve now. But of course, it's like, of course, Katy Perry will agree to go on this rocket. And that's why I was like, man, wouldn't it be great if this rocket just like had a malfunction and just flew into the sun? But of
Wasn't
course,
it her that recently was singing fucking I Will Always Love You?
maybe I didn't hear about that story, but
Yeah.
Yeah, she did a Whitney Houston cover and fucked it up.
Yeah.
oh really? damn, Ashtray hasn't been keeping up on his celebrity gossip. But yeah, she also had said that we're putting the ass in astronauts. Like, Jesus Christ, Katy Perry. But yeah, so
it was she, right?
of course they were in the air for 10 minutes and 21 seconds total. So I think they were only in suborbital space for like 2 or 3 minutes. And don't get me wrong, like I'm sure it's an intense ride because you do have to you're experiencing 5 Gs lifting off. And you know get to see the full like curvature of the earth and you get that 0G experience. But this is a billionaire's carnival ride targeted to millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
Is the way I look at it. Like
So
these are all like Gayle King, Katy Perry, you know, like they're millionaires. Like they're rich and celebrities, but they're no Bezos. And it's like this is the carnival ride that billionaires make for millionaires because they can
yeah.
charge the millionaires can afford the big fat fucking ticket price to still make this little carnival ride profitable. Up until there'll be that, you know, that's the thing, if they keep doing it regularly, it'll be someone like, oh my God, we lost Kevin Hart. Like he died. Kevin Hart and, you know, a bunch of other celebrities we don't know. But like it'll be one bad accident on this fucking billionaire's carnival ride.
Oh, I can't wait.
We'll sink it. And it's bound to happen.
Maybe,
This thing too is
maybe
like,
the fucking Chinese will shoot it out of the sky or something.
Yeah, right.
the
and it just has a fucking missile waiting for that bitch next time it launches.
you know, it's like, oh, we're holding around this plushie, and it's just like, you know, the thing is like they're all the thing is they were like looking over the 2 days of training. It's like, what did they have to study? How to enter and exit the vehicle, how to fasten and unfasten the seatbelts. You know, it's just like it's a fucking carnival ride, and that's about it. And it's just good, you know, it is geared towards those fucking millionaires who can afford it. And
You can afford it.
I would say, you know, it's like fuck Elon Musk, but at least like SpaceX is actually doing work to like keep real space fucking business going. You know, like the Falcon 9 rockets are putting up satellites all the time. You don't hear about it. You only hear about now when SpaceX is either putting real astronauts up to the International Space Station, or you hear about it when one of their tests fucks up, because people like to rip on Elon when one of his tests fucks up. But also, tests fucking up is part of space exploration. This is a carnival ride. What's that?
I like to rip on him because he's a retard.
Well, you could rip on him for that too. But I'm saying, like, set aside Elon himself, like the company SpaceX, though. Like I still give them credit for actually like keeping the space race on our side.
Space Force. All right. That's our show. Go fuck yourself, Baz Luhrmann.
Who's Baz Luhrmann?
Thursday night at 10 p.m. Central. Make sure you join the conversation at theredeyereport.com or facebook.com/theredeyereport. You can also twiddle us. Oh, no, you can't. Like and share us or fuck us. We're down for whatever. I'm Mystic.
I'm Oracle.
This is the Ashtray.
And this is Teddy wondering why Ashtray has a bottle of Lubriderm on his fucking...
For jerking off.
Fucking
what,
always
Why else do you
ready.
think it's there?
I mean, really, you're wondering?
Always ready.
Come on.
Fucking
Keep my
live
hands
demonstration right now.
It's not black. You can't use cocoa butter.
Ha!
He can. It's not fucking... It's
Not
not